Thank you for joining me on this live webinar. This is actually my first time doing a webinar on Facebook Live, so I hope you can see and hear me well. Today we're going to talk about how to sing when you are absolutely scared of singing and feel uncomfortable about using your voice. My name is Ramesha. I'm a voice teacher. I have been for the last over 20 years. And so I had the opportunity to work with a lot of people, a lot of singers and aspiring singers. And one of the most important things that we need to understand in terms of not feeling comfortable about how we sound is letting go of judgment. We often have in our mind a certain idea of what we should sound like, whether it's, I don't know, some singer that we like very much, or maybe just an idea of what somebody with a good voice should sound like. And what we don't realize is that we have our own voice. We will never really sound exactly like somebody else. It's interesting sometimes working with teenagers because when they come, I can tell that by the way they use their voice, they're trying to sound like somebody, some singer, famous singer, usually that they like a lot. And it's not absolutely bad or wrong. It's just that you will never exactly be like them. As long as you're trying to sound like somebody else, you will always be like a bad copy of somebody else. That will take us into topic, which is relaxation. In order to sound like somebody else, you basically have to somehow strain or tense your throat, because otherwise, if you are completely relaxed, which is the ideal condition for good singing, if you are completely relaxed, you will sound just like yourself. So basically, good singing, learning to sing well, means to be able to let go of tensions in the throat that have accumulated sometimes for years, and gradually opening up sound so that eventually what you have is a full, strong, resonant sound in your voice that is unique. Nobody else has it quite like that. Some voices sound alike, but they're never perfect. I think it's really exactly the same. So one of the most important things to do to open up and release tension in the throat is correct breathing. I'm sure many of you heard about diaphragmatic breathing, which is what is normally used for singing. And what that basically means, I like to call it belly breathing because it's easier for people to visualize what it is that we're talking about rather than diaphragm, which is this mysterious muscle somewhere down in our bellies. But belly breathing is essentially this. When you inhale, and you try it, you can put your hands on your belly right where your belly button is, and you can take deep inhalation. And as you do, inhale, and you try to push your belly out so your hands will move forward as you do that. So you're basically inflating your belly. In a way that some people do, I don't know, they're showing their belly or something, but try to not think of that. Just inhale, push your belly out as you do that. Keep your shoulders down and relaxed. So inhale, and then when you exhale, feel the opposite movement. Feel your belly move inward towards your side. And so this is the way you should breathe when you sing. You should always inhale, inflating your belly, and exhale, deflating your belly. So why is this so important? Because in our society, in our day and age, due probably to stress and due certainly to bad habits, we are used to breathing mainly with the upper chest. So we take shallow breaths like this. So we raise our shoulders and inflate only here, whereas our belly is not good for singing because it creates tension right in the area where we are trying to get rid of tension. And so try to do the opposite. Keep your shoulders and chest relaxed and inhale with your belly. So this is one of the most important fundamentals in singing technique is how to breathe. And you will notice as we do some exercises in a moment, you will notice how breathing that way and sustaining and supporting the breath from your belly will allow you to relax and also to have a steady sound that is not shaking, cracking, or wobbling. It's all the things that happen. I want to also emphasize a point about not feeling comfortable about one's voice. It's not just about singing. A lot of people feel uncomfortable about their speaking voice as well. And as you can imagine, the two things are interrelated because when you develop your sound and work on projecting your voice out, being relaxed, being having a nice resonant tone, that also affects your speaking voice. I remember when I started studying with my teacher years ago that I happened to meet my ex schoolmates, high school mates, maybe a year after I started taking voice lessons, and how different my voice sounded. And I didn't really notice because, the changes you don't realize, but they were all saying how stronger my tone was. And that made me realize that, so what I've been doing has helped also my speaking voice, not just the singing. So one of the reasons why people feel like they cannot possibly sing or that they shouldn't sing is often because of something that happened in their childhood. A teacher told them that they should sing. Maybe a parent or a teacher or somebody told them that they shouldn't speak quite as loud, that they should tone it down. I had experiences working with students, especially on their speaking voice, but not only, where as soon as we started working on opening up the tone, releasing the tension here, and just producing a sound that is fuller and more resonant, some of them had actually an emotional reaction. And at first I couldn't understand why. And they explained that, a lot of emotional component was the cause for their voice to shut down. If you're told as a child many times that you shouldn't sing because you can't, you start to believe it. And then you grow up thinking that you will never be able to sing. And it takes somebody else convincing enough to tell you, no, actually you can. And maybe I can also show you how you can do that. So this is what I will try to do today. I will try to convince you that you can if you were ever convinced that you can't. And we will also do some exercises. there are some emotional things that come up as you work on your voice, and we will working on it more on a physical, from the physical perspective, meaning the mechanics of the voice. But it is amazing how those can affect also deeper and emotional and psychological components related to using your voice. Your voice is your primary tool of communication. So when you improve your tone, your way of communicating changes, not because of the things you say, but because of the energy that you put out. It's a different energy. It's a different consciousness behind it. And so people feel that. They might not understand exactly what it is that they're feeling, but they're feeling something different. So for example, we will work this morning on creating a full sound, which is a sound that has no breath. Like it's not it's it's full and resonant. And what that does when you sing or when you speak is it makes people aware of the fact that you are a confident person. That's the kind of message you put out. No matter what you say, you put out a message of confidence and, you know, a certain level of self-esteem, and it's there. Many times when I performed and I was very nervous, people commented later telling me, "Oh, you seem so calm." And that was interesting to me because I was nervous instead. But what I realized is that the control that I have developed over my voice allows me to have a full tone even when I am not completely calm. But what that does, it gives the impression to the people who listen to me, give the impression of confidence and, you know, a certain calmness, and you're self-possessed and you know what you're doing. So that it's very interesting. So it goes both ways. The physical affects the emotional and vice versa. So here we go. I would like to do one simple exercise with you today that will help you with the fullness of the tone. So I want to start down here. We're going to hum this note, and then we're going to open up to vowel ah. So like this. So you will take a deep breath with your belly, just like I told you a moment ago. And so you will take a breath and then so you will open. But when you do the vowel, make sure when you start the sound, make sure that it's not a wimpy but feel that you are trying to project a lot of energy out. You're not holding it in. You're just projecting it out. Okay? So let's try this together, and then we will go up and do just a few of these together. So we'll let's go up one. Relax your throat. Feel that all the effort you're making comes from your belly, sustaining your breath, and not from here. We are opening and relaxing this as much as possible. So this brings the sound here. You can probably feel it vibrate in your face, and that allows the sound to be resonant and not tense. So we'll do just a couple more. And one more. All right, so this is very important to relax, like I said, and bring the resonance of your sound here. If it's just in the throat, it's going to be tense and not very pleasant. It will be more like ah instead of ah. See the difference? It has more depth to it and warmth. So this is the tone that we want when we sing and also when we speak. Like I said, the two go very much together. All right, so now let's go back here. And another exercise that I like to do is this 3-note exercise. This will help you with the fullness of the tone. So like I said earlier, the voice often tends to be breathy, like we want we want a full sound. So this can be learned because it's just a muscular process that brings the vocal cords together perfectly so they can close together when we sing and there's no breath that leaks through them. So all the breath basically turns into sound. This is what we want. Otherwise, it's not going to be optimized and there's going to be some leakage of breath which makes the sound not focused, not really pure. And also, obviously, there's a lot of breath expenditure, so we run out of breath more quickly. Okay? So let's do this together. Okay, so let's go. And now let's go up here, and let's do the same thing, but we're going to do A. Try to really enunciate the sound perfectly. Don't just go, but with a lot of intention, and remember to breathe with your belly. So let's do it one more time. And let's stay here and let's do ah. So remember to enunciate very crisp and not just but ah. Okay? And let's do o. Ooh. Okay, so we don't have time to do a lot of these, but you can pick any note that is comfortable to you in your lower range and just do this exercise of consciously enunciating your vowel and just making sure that there's no breath in the sound. And it might take a few attempts. Maybe you need to repeat the starting note a couple of times because maybe you start and it's a little you just have to try. We want a really full and round sound. It's not just but like that. And another one that you can do that is similar, or at least has the same idea behind it, is to just hold a note. And this is one of my favorite exercises, just holding notes, because it really gives you the time to relax the throat. So let's do a couple of these together. So we're going to start here. We're just going to do ah and o for now. So take a deep breath with your belly. Inflate your belly. Let it come out as you inhale. And then we're going to So as you hold, it doesn't have to be very long, but as you hold, feel the pressure from your belly and also relax the throat, but keep the sound at a certain volume. Don't let it go too soft, otherwise the tendency will probably be for it to become breathy. Oh, we don't want that, okay? Let's go up here. Let's do same thing with O. So we're going to take a deep breath and then enunciating O. And then we'll do one more with A up here. Inhale. Okay, and maybe let's do just one more. Let's do O again. Inhale with your belly. Okay, so remember, whatever exercise you do, remember to enunciate your vowel clearly. And let me repeat, what this does is it trains your muscles around the vocal cords to close the vocal cords together perfectly so that the sound is pure and no breath leaks through it. I like to give this image because some people who are very visual can actually visualize that process of the vocal cords closing together and producing a full sound. So this is very important, and it might take a little bit of time to develop, but just like any other muscle in the body, it gets stronger as you work it out. So do work it out. You can just pick any note in a comfortable range. You can do these exercises even while you're driving your car. In fact, honestly, this is pretty much all I do because I don't have a lot of time to practice and keep my voice in good shape. But when I drive, take little commutes here and there, I just do an exercise or two and throughout the day, and that really helps my voice to stay in good shape. Obviously, if I have a big performance, I do a little bit more than that, but even that really helps. And remember also, those of you who might not be let's say spring chickens anymore, that like every other muscle in the body, the vocal cords and the muscles around them tend to get stiffer as you grow older. So what you want to remember is, if you are in a position where you want to sing, you need to speak a lot, maybe if you're a teacher or if you give conferences or whatever, you need to factor in what you do for your preparation, vocal exercises to keep your voice really smooth and flexible, and also develop the kind of tone that will allow you to deliver what you want to say in a way that can be really received. We don't have time to go into this, but there are a lot of studies that show how the quality of the voice when you speak to people can really affect how they receive what you have to say. So maybe this will be the subject for another webinar, but not today because we have more things to talk about. So take a few of these exercises. Breathe. Develop the habit of breathing with your belly. Also, when you speak, take breaths inflating your belly rather than this with the upper chest. Don't do that because it makes your breathing very shallow and it really doesn't help your voice. It actually makes it tight and strained. And if you want to sing, you need to be able to release all the tension from your throat. Believe me, I think I can say that 80% of learning to sing and using your voice correctly is about getting rid of tension. Tension that you don't even know is there because it's been there forever. They say that when babies are born, they know how to place their voice, and you can tell their voice is loud and clear, usually. But when we grow up, we start to develop bad habits, especially due to emotions, tensions. Life happens, and we start to accumulate tension around our throat and our voice, and our voice slowly shuts down. Some people have very little voices, very thin, or voices that are really not pleasant to listen to. And maybe they are saying the most interesting things, but you just have a hard time listening to them because of the tone of their voice. So you don't want to be like that. You want to sing using your voice, develop a full tone that is not breathy, a resonant tone, and that's how your voice will become an instrument that will make you feel confident rather than shy. And so, okay, here's the 3 things for you to do. Belly breathing exercises first and foremost. And then doing the humming, going into the vowel. Remember to do it with the idea of projecting your sound. Don't be too shy, because that doesn't really do much. You have to really consciously project it out, as if you were trying to reach somebody who's in the room next to you, next to yours, so that it's not quite there. You have to project your sound out more. And then the third one is enunciate the sound, the vowel, enunciate, keep it full, and then you can also hold the note. That is the same kind of exercise. So, and try to really relax, gradually relax and open until you can tell. When you do it right, you can tell, because the sound gradually expands without you trying. So this is what we want. We want a big sound without strain to produce it. So this is the natural way that our voice was designed to function. So we kind of got away from that over the years for many different reasons. And we need to get rid of all these layers of tension and gradually uncover the voice that is there. We all have it. We all have it. It's just that for some of us, things happened that made our voice kind of not really shut down, but be less than what it can be. And when I first started taking voice lessons, my teacher thought that I couldn't really develop much of my voice. And then as we went on and on, she realized that, oh no, there is a voice there. And I was surprised too. And so as we kept going, gradually the tone developed, and then I realized, oh wow, I sound completely different. I used to not sound like this at all. So just try, and don't judge your voice. Don't judge what you sound like. This is what you have. This is the instrument you have, and it's beautiful. And it will be even more when you really open it up and allow it to work at 100% of its possibilities and its potential. So it's worth exploring. And exploring your voice will also help you explore maybe parts of yourself that you didn't know, and that will be able to come to the surface. So I hope you have fun with this. And okay, so what are next steps that you can take after this to get more help and support in trying to develop your voice? You can, first of all, and I will put all these links in the video after the live webinar is over. I will just post all these videos, but you can sign up for my newsletter. I send out newsletters regularly with a lot of tips for singers, from stage fright to vocal technique to how to really convey feeling when you are singing and not just sing notes and words and things like that. There will be videos and all that. So just make sure you go to the link that I'll provide and you can sign up for my newsletter. And you can also like this page, Facebook page. Posts are always coming on this page. So if you liked it and follow it, you will receive all these tips that hopefully will help you in improving your voice. You can also go to my YouTube page, YouTube channel, and subscribe to it. And again, there will be videos. There's a lot of videos there already, a lot of resources that you can use, and there will be more coming. And last thing, I have this really fun online course that I created a few years ago when I was living in LA, and I was always stuck in traffic, and I realized that all I could do is just sing and do vocal exercises. So that gave me the idea of creating a course that people can use when, because people are busy. In fact, it's called Singing for Busy People, because people are busy and they don't have time to take voice lessons or go to, look for information. But in that course, it is something that you can download, and it's just guided instructions and guided exercises, sort of like what we did together this morning. And you can listen to it over and over and just do these exercises. I literally sold hundreds of this course, and people have been telling me it's been really helpful and fun to do because it doesn't take much time, and it's really something that can help you in your voice development. So all these links will be provided under the video once it posts. Once we're done with this will become a video that you can come back and watch anytime you want. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm hoping to do more of these soon. It seems like a fun way to share. So, okay. If you have any questions, please do post them underneath, and I will answer them as soon as I get on Facebook. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.